Handcrafted in Canada, Hardline's ice pad has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best broom in the game. Hardline. Join the revolution.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the quarterfinals here at the Saville Shootout. This morning we've got a game on the women's side. We've got Kaitlyn out of Manitoba versus Gracelyn Richards out of Alberta here. So should be a great game. All the games from here on in will be good. It's all winning you're in and losing you go home at this point, but everybody's in some money, so good moves all the way around. Just get started here. We're both 3 shots in. You see Laws has hammer. Throwing the red stones. Eight teams made the quarterfinals in the women's and in the men's event. Laws finishing with a 4-1 record, and Richards at 3-2. 4-1 pretty much guaranteed a spot in the quarterfinals. 3-2 was a little bit iffy. You had to have the right combinations of wins and losses and who you played and all of that sort of thing. So Richards made it in at 3-2, so that's all good. I'll run down the players and all that sort of thing a little bit here. But now turn hit for Team Richards. Laws sitting 2. Around the back of the house. Looks like a pretty good one. No roll, so Law still sits 1. Gonna play that same shot, just the other turn. Just gonna throw the in turn. It's just a matter of preference, really, at this point. And depending on what your team likes to do, if they like to play inside out or outside in. Most of the time, not too much preference on in turns or out turns, but some people do. Working on this one a little bit just to make sure it doesn't get away from them, and a little bit of a roll. Not sure if she really wanted to roll that way, but not a big problem here, really. Richards playing out turn, probably playing out turn here, out turn hit and roll. Or perhaps a double. It's kind of an either or shot. We're playing the out turn. Hanging out a little bit. Work out for the double. No, just a little too thin. Which might have been out a little. She might have just set it out a little bit, or maybe the ice wasn't quite right. It's pretty early to have the whole sheet mapped in your mind. So, see, and Richards sporting the University of Alberta logo on the front of their sweaters. See that a lot in the last, I don't know how many years, but quite a few years. You see a lot of teams going to that university and continue to wear those logos. And the out turn come around for the Laws team. One's got to curl a bunch. like to tuck at least a little bit of it behind this guard. And it probably does the trick. It looks like it's going to be a doubles there, but you've got to be a little bit careful. You don't want to tick that guard on the way by for sure. Good discussion, just probably a discussion around weight more than anything else. Shots pretty much only one choice as far as the actual shot goes here. We're tapping her left shoulder. All the teams would have some sort of indication on weight. Sometimes you can't hear very good out there either, so good to have a visual. Teams are different, though. That could be normal for some teams. That could be up weight for other teams. This looks like a good shot. Sneak it by that guard. Oh, it came much closer to making that double, that's for sure. He really would have been hard-pressed to be any tighter to the guard, so it was obviously a very difficult shot, but a good one. And I'll just play an alternate hit on that. Just try to flop one back to the same place it was, really. This looks like pretty soft weight, just a control kind of weight. Just needs to get a little bit of curl here. Working hard, trying to make it move. Should get over there, maybe. And very good. Worked out fine. Stayed in the back, still on the rings. So still sitting 2. A little tiny bit fortunate there that didn't go out, but I think, yeah, I have to play the high one here. She was looking at maybe playing the back one, maybe a little hit and flop or something like that, but not going to do very much good back there. So try to make the double here, I think. Working hard on this one, trying to hold it out there. Not going to quite do that, I don't think. No, but a good spot for her stone, really. It's one that Laws has to think about whether or not she wants to deal with it or just ignore it and come around. And that's what she'll do. She has hammer. It's an aggressive call, but I think it's a good call. We've hit the other one in front, and it's not really going to do anything for you. It's just going to maybe set up something for the Richards team to use. There's the intern come around, Selena Negevin. Very experienced team here on the Laws ring. Certainly played many games at this level and beyond, Canadian championships as well, and a whole lot of experience for this team. I don't know very much about the Richards team, but I'm guessing that they're still relatively young, and just the fact they went 3-2 here to qualify for the playoffs certainly makes them a team of the future, perhaps, in women's curling. So that was a great shot. Maybe went a couple feet deeper than she'd like, but it's a heck of a good shot, straight behind the guard, still above or at least on the tee line. And Richards has to make a good shot here. You really need to be in front of this rock. It'd be nice to be frozen to the side of it at the very least, or at the best situation rather. At the very least, though, you want to be in front of it somewhere. So even if you're full 8 foot, would make Laws 2 pretty difficult, and she might have to deal with your rock. So it definitely has to be a good shot. This early in the game, it's, you know, you don't like to think a shot's bigger than it is, but it still could be a big shot in this game. Looks like she's indicating it's out there a little bit. Weight must be close. Sweepers are just kind of have that on and off approach to this one, so I think that usually indicates you're going to be really close. It's maybe just that's a heck of a shot. If you could take 18 inches of weight off of that, that would have been perfect. It's still pretty good. Tough shot for Kaitlyn to remove it and stay in a position to not set up a double. So it looks like probably a backline weight shot really here. Something in that area. In turn. A lot of these teams, particularly the women's teams, have kind of had to work around building families here the last couple of years. A lot of scheduling goes into that when you're a high-end competitive player and you need to be ready for Olympic trials and Canadian championships and all that sort of thing. So certainly the case in Kaitlyn's case. So here comes this shot. There's going to be an in-turn come around, just like I say. Probably, I'm thinking backline weight. I don't think it'll be any more than that. She needs to get to the nose of this if she can. Pushing Peterman, the sweepers. One hard. It's curling a little bit more than I thought it might. Looks like it's going to be a dandy. Good shot. Richard's in some trouble here. She's got a pretty tough double. I don't know that the double's there. I don't think you could come by the guard tight enough to make the double. So do you just try to eliminate one red and be satisfied, give it up a 2? Could play the angle raise. You can see them looking at a little bit of a run back on their own. The problem with that one, if you don't at least get rid of one rock, you could drop 3. And, you know, two's big, but 3's really big right off the bat. But she looks pretty confident, and she seems to really want to play this one, so I suspect that's what they'll do. I don't think there was much doubt in her mind that this was a shot. The shot does give you an opportunity to score, too, which playing the other shot, which would just be the in-turn hit, probably to give up a deuce, an easy deuce, and I guess if you play in the quarterfinals on the final morning, you got to be ready to throw the good shots, the big shots, and this is one of them. Not sure what turn she's throwing here. She really has, looks like probably a little bit, almost a negative ice situation on the out turn, which is what she's going to throw. She probably, some of the teams have a shot where they just set it back a little bit, and with the sweeping now, you can back it off a little bit and hold it, and in fact maybe even back it up a couple of inches. So here it comes. This would be just normal weight takeout, I think. Certainly didn't seem to be tight. People going hard. Needs to hold it out there. It's in the neighborhood. A little unlucky. Got rid of one. No, that's a good shot. It was not very far from being a great shot. She just had to hit that just a little tiny bit different, just maybe a half an inch on one side, and she would have been able to put it in there and make Kaitlyn have a really hard shot to score. Never mind, score a 2. I think Laws is throwing that same shot, basically the out-turn hit here. Has to be just a control weight hit. Obviously very, very straight here with any weight. Great delivery. Always had a great delivery. Most of them do, but he's had a great delivery. Out turn, just nice control weight. Seems fine. Just a little bit of cleaning going on down the sheet, and she'll hit it right on the nose and score 2. And Kaitlyn Laws will take an early 2-0 lead here after one end of play at the Saville Shootout quarterfinals. Take a brief break to support our sponsors, and we'll see you in a minute.
Don't forget your brooms.
Yep, you got it.
Come on up. Okay, well, what do you got? You got 1, you got 2, you got...
Just one more throw, please.
You make moments like these possible.
We're back. First rock of the second end here in the quarterfinal Monday. A lot of events end on Sunday. This one goes right till Monday. A little extra day off work. And Laws puts it in the house, and Richard's going to hit it. It's just a little bit too good to leave there. Yeah, no problem with that. Kristen McCouche. An intern hit. Once again, no trouble. Richard's thinking for a second about throwing the corner guard. I just decided to go ahead and I think she's decided to go ahead and play the hit. No, she hasn't. She did decide to play the corner guard. Just a little bit surprised just by virtue of the first call, and it was right on the button. This one's basically right on the button and just changed up a little bit, but Skip's prerogative. Allows the throw and out turn. Right guard, or maybe slip it into the rings isn't the end of the world, but I think I'd like to be maybe a couple feet short of the rings with this one. Second stone for Kaitlyn Laws, Jocelyn Peterman. See Kaitlyn's broom there, just about a foot in front of the rings on the center line. going to be in the house, I think. Yeah, it slides in, but the only problem with sliding in at all is just that you do allow the other team to perhaps hit and roll behind the corner guard. Sort of looked like she was going to play this high side to make this double, which to me would be a bit of a surprise. I would think you'd want to hit this on the left-hand side as we look at it to try to roll your shooter behind the guard, but again, pretty early. Sophia Ryerchuk, second stone for Team Richards. This looks like a good one. Very good. Very good shot. Nice double. Wasn't an easy double. 6 feet apart those rocks were, and well played. So Laws will play there's no choice but to just go ahead and play the hit here. And stay right on the center line with this after the hit, I think would be fine. So it's curling, probably over curling a little bit. Should just still hang around, no trouble. You might see, I was going to say, you might see Richards ignore this one. Looked at their scores for their first few games, and they certainly scored a lot of points in their first 3 games. Well, it would indicate they like to play some offense. Having said that, the last couple of games, they started 3-0 and then lost 2 games at the end, and they didn't score a ton of points in those 2 games, obviously, but at the same time, they started with a 9-6 win over Einerson and a 6-5 win over Gray Withers and a 9-7 win over Tabitha Peterson from the U.S. So they've scored some points. So we'll see how this goes. Out turn come around. Line looks pretty good. That looks like a great spot. Probably a little deep. Law's not going to fool around though. She's going to just peel the guard. Nothing wrong with this call either. I thought she might draw in right on top of the yellow, but she has that 2-0 lead and just continue to protect that for a couple of shots and see what happens here. It's a little wide on this. No, not a good shot. Selena won't be happy with that. I'd say she had to set it out a little bit or just slide a little wide because she didn't have a lot of ice, but so Richard says, well, let's just do it again. Maybe we can get a second miss. Or to get this one in the right spot. You can just line it up with the 2 that you have there and just be full 12-foot would be pretty nice, I think. Could even go to the 8-foot or bite the 8-foot. I don't know you want to go any deeper than that. One switch, throws off her shoulder a little bit. Your mooch, I think, is the way it's the way it reads, or the way it's spelled, I guess. I'm not sure if that's exactly right. A little light on this. Yeah, it kind of forces Kaitlyn to play a draw now, which I didn't probably really want to do. Just a little late on that, I think. She certainly didn't look narrow out of her hand, but she's several feet short. Kaitlyn's asking Selena Negevin to come right around on the out turn. She put this in the right place. She can make it very difficult for the Richards team. Reach close, I think. Line's getting better. Well, I don't know. It's I think you can get to that. It's a long way out, that guard, and I think you can get to that and even stay and get in a little flip inside, or just even get right to the nose would be pretty good, I think. To be pretty lightweight shot. I don't know what their signals mean or anything like that, so I'm not quite sure what they're throwing. But judging by the ice, I would expect this not to be a whole lot of weight on this shot. Sweepers are indicating it might be a little bit heavy. It's got to curl. It's got to curl a lot yet. Well, it worked out really well. Not totally sure that she was hoping to go that way, but it's a very good result. Sitting two, both buried, one of them behind a red stone, which isn't completely beneficial, but pretty hard shot for Kaitlyn to make it and leave hers behind anything, really. Certainly behind the shooter. But if she could, she's going to be in great shape, rather. Could be an out turn. This would be a full weight takeout, so just a normal takeout, which for them, I don't know what that would be. Probably 9.5, maybe, something like that, maybe 10. It's on its way. Over curl a bit. No, still a good shot, though. It's going to be really tough. I mean, you're going to have to be absolutely perfect to hit that and leave it behind your shooter. You can see this team does like to be pretty aggressive. There are some teams here that would be, I don't know about here, but there are some teams that would decide to hit the red one, even though it's number 2. You've got a lot of room there. Get hit and just flop behind the guard, behind the red guard. She's chosen to play the out-turn come around to set up a possible 3, which is a great call, a very aggressive call, and I like it. Just got to be in the right spot. She was on it pretty early. I don't know that she's real light. I think she's just a little bit tight to the guard. They're going to have to go real hard here. Really hard. No, going to be light. So she won't be real happy with that one. That was not a real hard shot. I mean, basically just a draw to the 8-foot. Just a little bit light. Not a fair bit late, I guess. Law's looking at playing the tap on her own, I think. Well, a lot of rocks to bury this behind. You can, as long as you get this going even roughly in the right direction, you can go straight back behind get it straight back behind your own, and get it to go towards the center line or the other side of the 4-foot or the other side of the 8-foot. All of those are behind guard. So pretty good opportunity for Kaitlyn to make this tough on the Team Richards. A few rocks come up short today so far. We're only in the second end, but there's been a few come up short. And teams do have practice, so it's not like the ice is brand new. So I'll check the speed in here in a little bit and see what it looks like. It looks fine to me. It just maybe just a little bit heavier than the girls are anticipating. So here's Law's attempt to just promote one of her stones into the house, preferably to be shot rock. Should be fine if it just curls enough to get enough of it. And she will make it, I think. That's a beauty. That's perfect. Very good shot. Richards electing to just play the draw. She needs full 4 foot to score. Big shot, really. Most skip shots are big shots, but this is definitely a big shot. You don't make this, you're down 3-0, and if you make it, you're just down 2-1. So that's quite a difference. Maybe like 4 points spread, I guess. Has a really good shot. It wasn't a real hard shot because there were so many options, but you had to get the weight right, and you had to make sure it got to the stone. If it just stayed out there, it was going to be wasn't going to do you any good. So good read on the ice and the perfect weight choice for Laws. Looks good. Definitely got to get it by. Oh. Well, really, that was disappointing for Richards. I think they just didn't quite pick up on that as far as the sweeping, whether the sweepers or the call on the sweep or what, but because they definitely could have went much harder on it, and the weight was good enough that they were going to be fine. So a big miss, and now we're down to the end of the third or end of the second end, and Laws now had 3-0 here at the Saville Shootout quarterfinals, and we will be back with you in a minute.
Stronger agronomics, better returns, greater peace of mind from pre-seed to post-harvest. You can count on the Victory Canola program to keep you and your farm ahead of the curve. Grow with us at victorycanola.com.
Everything I've worked for, everything I've sacrificed has led to this. It's out of your hands now. So the world can't help you now. You could throw the perfect rock and still miss, but it just takes one. You leave it all out there on the ice to leave behind a legacy.
I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.
So we're back. After a big steal in the second end by Kaitlyn Laws, she leads 3-0 over Gracelyn Richards. Steal that really kind of came out of nowhere. Those are the ones that really hurt when you're the opposition. That's for sure. It's just a bit disheartening, but it's early in the game. It's only 3 points, and Team Richards has certainly shown that they're willing to be pretty aggressive, and they'll have to be a little bit now to claw their way back a little bit. And deuce here would be nice. So she has a corner guard up. Kaitlyn Laws coming around the center guard. Now I don't know if that was a called shot to be on the center line short, or if she was trying to come in, but either way, she's going to end up with probably the same result. No matter what, she had good gone in there in the first shot. Richards still throw the corner guard and then throw the center guard afterwards. So 6-1, half a dozen the other, as they say. Just playing a little bump here, just trying to tap this back a couple of feet. Leave it around, use it for backing, perhaps, and then so just a little out turn bump. Even if she just were to get to the nose of this rock and not have enough weight to move, it wouldn't be a bad shot. That's perfect, just exactly what she called. Just trying to build something here, just trying to get something going for the Richards team. Kaitlyn's all about defense to a point here. So you can't just shut down the offense totally. It's only a 3-point lead. It's a long way from being over. And the out turn, basically the same shot. I don't think she's necessarily trying to bump it, but she'd like to get to the nose of the yellow one just to prevent any kind of a slash on the yellow through her own red. This looks really good. Yeah, I'd say that's just about perfect by Peterman. So Richards going to the other. Again, pretty early, but at the same time, shots that are just really need to be made well right now. She needs to put this one in there just perfect. And if she does, they'll actually be in a pretty good position, despite the red rocks that are around, because everything will be above theirs. This one's got a curl, though. I don't know. It really hooks nice, but I don't know if that's going to come off that outside yellow or not. Oh, I guess it will. That's a great shot. That's a really, really good shot. I didn't know if it was going to come off that yellow out there. It just stayed there a long time. Good news for Kaitlyn. She's got that red one to work with and probably can remove a yellow pretty easily. They still have a bunch of red ones around, so I don't know who has the advantage right now, but we'll figure it out as we move on here. It's just an out turn, and she doesn't get a ton of ice, so she's probably throwing like maybe a hack weight shot or something like that, somewhere in the area of hack to board even maybe. Could be good. It's good. The problem for Richards now is how do you ever, well, for one problem is how do you make sure that yellow one stays there? And the second problem is how do you ever get that second one in there? Not going to be easy. It always gets messy in these situations, tough on the head. But you got to do it that way. Nobody's going to get back in the game just by playing open hit. really tell with this shot if that's a doable shot or not. I gotta be careful you don't take your own out of here, I think. If she can remove the reds without losing her oath, that'd be great. Really close here. Really close. I think that's pretty good. I think that's the best you could do anyways. More rocks around than Kaitlyn would like to see at this point, to be honest. Good to play the peel. Peel or just a run back. It might be just a straight. Could be a straight run back, I guess. I think you'd get rid of the yellow, both yellows on the one on the center line and one on the left. Left as we saw it a minute ago. Find out in a minute. This one needs to curl a bit. She might end up picking her own out. So she got rid of one, got rid of the center guard. So overall, pretty successful shot for Selena Negevin. Just trying to figure out where can I put this next rock. Her yellow one at the back is probably never going to happen for her now, so she needs to figure out a way to get that second rock in and hopefully manufacture at least a deuce here. The other option, I guess, would be to move could move your yellow, play a little tap on your yellow, tap on yellow, red, but the chances are you'll set up a double by doing that because you're probably not going to throw it hard enough to get a really good spread about between those rocks. So here we go with an out-turn come around. The third stone, Emma Yarmuch. Hopefully I'm saying that right. So this one looks pretty good if the weight's right. A little bit on the deep side. You don't really want to line it up with that one. Yeah, okay, just a little heavy. Unfortunate. Doesn't really do too much for you at this point. So close to being good, though. Still an interesting call for Kaitlyn Laws, though. It's, you know, part of you says, well, let's hit the yellow. You probably lose at least one of the reds, one of my own, one of her own. So he's going to go down and have a look. It'd be really tricky to get rid of the yellow and save the shooter and this red one. You can be done if you can just feather that red one a little bit, because then you'll go over the top of the back ones and your shooter would still stay as well. That'd be a great shot. If that doesn't happen and you just make a double, you make the double, the yellow and red double, you're going to still you'd be sitting two in pretty good position as well. So that wouldn't be the end of the world. I think they've settled on the fact that they have to move they feel like they have to move the yellow one somewhere, somehow. So we'll see what she says. She's not going to necessarily show us. She's going to maybe put the broom down. Girls are going to be able to talk about it at the other end, so there's not really any need to show us exactly what she's playing. But suffice to say, pretty sure it's going to be a takeout, probably an out-turn takeout. And she'll try to maybe just feather that red one on the way by and get rid of the high yellow. This way, this is really, really, really straight down the middle here with any kind of weight. So I don't expect this to move very much. Kind of plan B. One thing about it, though, for Team Richard is you can actually make the double here and sit 3 when you're done, which would be quite a change around in this end. That's for sure. You don't really, and there's really no other shot to play, to be honest. There's not really anything else you're going to do with red sitting 2. I suppose if you're ultra aggressive, you could come around the corner guard, but I don't know if that would do you any good. She just follows you down. You're never going to score 2. So I think this is the way to go. Big shot. A very good opportunity. Not an easy opportunity, but a good opportunity for Richards to get right back in this game. Ooh, it's going to be lucky to make contact here, I think. Got rid of it, but not a good throw, I don't think. It just seemed like they were, because the sweepers were indicating earlier that there was, if anything, it was probably up a little bit for weight, and they were still trying to pound it all the way down, so. Had to be just a little tight. Just from my visual of her delivery, she slides a little bit almost like slightly like a Tucker kind of thing, where she's just a little off to the left of the target line, and maybe she just didn't quite get that rock out to where it needs to be. Anyway, it's gone, and not the end of the world. She's still in a decent shape here. Kaitlyn looks like she's going to come around the corner guard just to make sure she makes it good and doesn't slide behind the tee line at all. And I would expect you'll see Richards follow her down in some form or fashion, and hopefully still get her 2. She still has a chance to score 2 here. Plan A is for Kaitlyn Richards, or Kaitlyn Laws rather, just to make this draw first of all. He's taking his time coming over, but I'm sure it's going to, and the weight looks really good. Yeah, just a little bit lazy curling over there. I don't really move. She had pretty much center ice, so she only got about maybe 2 feet of curl out of that. But she's sitting 2. Up 3-0 and sitting 2 with 2 to come in this end. It's not a bad situation. Richards looking at seeing whether or not she can make a little hit and flop behind the guard. I think that's doable for sure. I look at the overhead here, it looks like it's very doable, and look at the longer shot, and it looks much tougher. We got a timeout call. I don't know if they have timeouts or Fox or anything, but it looked like she was calling a timeout. Anyway, either way, they're gonna talk about it. Not sure what else she can do, really, to be honest. It looks to me like you got to you're going to have to move that. You could freeze to the back one and be shot rock. Maybe isn't horrible, but you'd need a real miss out of Kaitlyn Lodge to be able to do anything with it. But if you did freeze to it and the angles were all right, and you might be able to have her jam something there that would give you a chance at multiple score. Well, there's the answer to that question. Their coach is out, so they do have timeouts. I think at the end of the day, they're going to play this outturn hit on the red, soft hit on the red. That's what I think, anyways. Just tell you, while they're chatting about this a little bit, I will tell you how they got to where they are. Certainly, Gracelyn Richards, I mentioned earlier, was 3-2 in the round robin. She started great with a win over Einerson, a win over Gray Withers, and a win over Peterson. I think we mentioned that before. And then she did lose to Kaitlyn Lodge in the fourth game. In a game that she took an early 3-0 lead and then gave up a 2, and a steal of 1, steal of 2, and steal of 1 to be down a couple, and they ended up and didn't finish. She ran her out of the rocks in the last end, but the final score 6-4. So good game. And then last night's game was Michelle Englot, and Michelle handled her pretty handily at 8-2, which I'm sure at the time they were wondering if they were going to make the playoff round, but they did. We'll see what happens. So they're not going to play that shot. It looks to me now I think. I'm just not sure. I think they're playing the run back maybe on the yellow. I don't think it doesn't look to me like something they're playing a freeze or whatever to the back one, so not sure. I mentioned Laws as well. Laws was 4-1. Her only loss came to Tabitha Peterson in the second game, and she won the rest of her games against Withers, Englot, Richards, again we mentioned, and Mila Platt, who also qualified for the playoffs. Not a bad call either. It's just a little bit tough to leave it anywhere really good, but if that's what she's playing, we'll find out first. Might not be, not a lot of weight. I'd say she's playing the freeze to the back one. This one's got a curl. There's usually no shortage of curl coming from the outside in, though, so you're pretty sure you're going to get there. This one might even actually end up over curling a little bit. Just a little bit light. Good weight to remember, though, because you might have to throw that exact same shot on your next one. I think the line would have been really good if she had another 4 or 5 feet of weight. I don't mind that call. I figured you had a couple options, and I think I would have played the other one, but that's not bad. You never know. She forces Kaitlyn into a little bit of a tough shot. She can't hit this straight back, or she sets up a double maybe for probably 3. Tough double, but a double. Looks like an out turn for Kaitlyn. Could be good. Roll too far? No. Not really. She's sitting 3, so she's fine. So you'll see Richards now play this. That was a good shot by Kaitlyn Laws, and actually to hit it there and stay was a bonus. Richards will play the same shot she just played, really. She can throw the same weight, same line. It's all good. She can also throw a couple more feet of weight. If that happens, she will have the backing to work with. We don't like to draw the backing, but just at the same time, sometimes it's nice to have it there. Needs to make this one, though. Sure didn't look heavy out of her hand, that's for sure. It looked really, really nice. Rose just keeping it clean. Should be good. And nice shot. Very good shot by Gracelyn Richards as she manages to pick up one here and close the gap a little bit. And after 3 ends of play, Kaitlyn Laws leads Gracelyn Richards by a score of 3-1. We'll get back in one short break.
Handcrafted in Canada, Hardlines Ice Pad has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best brew in the game. Hardline, join the revolution.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do.
We're back here to the 4th end of this quarterfinal game between Gracelyn Richards and Kaitlyn Laws. Laws, as we mentioned, up 3-1 now. So in pretty good shape here. Good guard, good start to the end by lead Amy Wheatcroft. And Kaitlyn Laws will ask lead Kristen McCush to come around that guard. This is not really where you'd like that to be. Just barely behind the tee line, and sets up a good place for a good spot for Richards' team to freeze to this one. Didn't really even have to go in yet if she didn't watch it, but she is. It's got the weight, the correct weight. It'll be very good. Well done. Perfect. Perfect. Laws have not much choice but to play just down to it. Really the same shot. Coming in nicely. Should end up right on top of the other. Pretty close. Good shot. I like the position that the Richards team is in now. It's got one that got shot rock right on the button. Long guard, going to throw another guard. So setting up a decent possibility of a steal here, but a lot of rocks to come yet. So with the out turn, girls indicating again it might be a little bit warm. Yeah, just not a great one for Richards. She was they tried to sort of go to plan B halfway down and take it around theirs by a little bit, and probably a good thought. Just couldn't quite keep it out there enough. Not bad though. They're not a bad position, but it just could have been that little bit better. So Laws now will play appeal. Not sure she's going to go after one or two here, but. A lot of handle on this. It's just gets the one, but that's the one that she was really after. I'm not sure that they were set up all that good for a double. Well, Richards will throw that same guard, I think. Going out turn again. Just need to be a hair lighter. A few feet lighter, I guess I should say. Second stone, Sophia Ryerchuk. Looks okay. Should be real good, actually. It's good and high, too. It's in this situation, I think high is probably better than not high. Just basically, then you get a little too close. You don't really want to have an easy double setup. So there's always a double there, but it's not very easy. Got a good chance, though. That's a great shot. That is a terrific shot. That completely changes around what's happening in this end. And even juggled the one on the top of the yellow, so now she's not as protected as it would have been. It would have been a little bit protected before, in the sense that if she played it, she would jam it on the back one. Not the case now, so looking to move it a little bit. So it looks like she's going to play a little bump on the red, maybe move the yellow a couple feet back, just change the angles a little bit. difficult now without hammer to try to make sure you don't give up more than one. Looking a little bit harder to score now than it was a minute ago. It's got a curl. Yeah, I think that's just exactly what she called, so good shot. Laws last Selena to hit the one at the back of the 4 foot, basically. No turn. Trying to get it to move over there. It's just a little bit slow coming across. Probably going to roll out, I think. She does. That's still a tough situation for Richards, really, to kind of figure out how do I generate a point here. Might have to try to think about whether or not she can force Laws to 1. And she probably can, but you got to be really careful there. Not to roll out or jam something that you weren't expecting that was going to jam, and all of a sudden give her an open hit or draw for 2. Not sure how the Reds line up. They look like they're lined up to really jam, but we'll see in a minute. We'll get an out-turn takeout. Quite sure what happened on that one. Let's see it here in a minute. Oh, Selena throwing another takeout. There we go. So she might be trying to make this double, and I think she's really close. So I'm not quite sure how we ended up in that position, but at the end of the day, it looks like we're probably going to end up with a blank end here in a minute. Nothing really going for Richards now. It's just pretty much has to hit. Let Kaitlyn go ahead, play a couple hits for her, a couple hits for Laws, and Laws will try to blank on the last shot. That's assuming nobody does anything really bad here, and I don't expect that would be the case. So now turn takeout. We know the spot really doesn't curl a whole lot. Everything down the center with weight doesn't really seem to move a whole lot, so with just even solid weight, doesn't have to be big weight, but no problem with that. Nose hit. Same shot for Kaitlyn Laws. Probably wouldn't mind it rolling a little bit one way or the other just to make the blank that much easier on her next shot. But priority 1 to hit it and priority 2 to stay. This looks fine. It's going to be more or less on the nose. Yeah. So Gracelyn Richards will try to do that exact same thing and force Kaitlyn to roll at least 6 or so feet to blank the end. One hard on this. I thought it looked a little tight out of her hand, but I think they won't have any trouble holding it. I think. Yeah, that's fine. It actually changes the shot up a little bit, and Kaitlyn can roll a little less, but to be able to blank, but still not bad at all. We'll change turns here, go in turn. And imagine this will be somewhere around a 7.5 or 8 or something like that for up weight shot, close to peel, if not peel. Lots of rotation. Lots of rotation is really nice when you're playing the peels. Gets a little more action when it hits. And this is 7.2. Good shot by Kaitlyn Laws, and she will blank the 4th end. So halfway through, we are 3-1 with Laws leading over Gracelyn Richards. And we'll take a brief break here and be back to you shortly.
Handcrafted in Canada, Hardlines Ice Band has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best broom in the game. Hardline. Join the revolution.
This is it. It all comes down to this rock. The hours in the gym, the weeks away from my family. This is what I've been training for. And all those voices trying to tear me down, I'm here to silence them. We've given everything we have for a chance to get everything we want.
Handcrafted in Canada, Hardline's ice pad has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best broom in the game. Hardline. Join the revolution.
We're back. Teams haven't quite finished their fourth end break here yet, but they will be soon. Just a reminder too that as you watch some of the commercials between ends, that it's thanks to all the sponsors that we have that enable us to bring all these games to you. And we get Curling Zone, the YouTube site for Curling Zone has every game available to watch live, and all of that is in part to the many people that work behind the scenes, and also to our proud sponsors. So we'd like you to take every chance to support them in making your purchasing decisions. I mentioned we have a pretty low scoring affair here, 3-1 for Laws after 4 ends. Looking across the sheets, seems to be a trend this morning for the games. I see that in all the women's quarterfinal games, you've got Kizawa leading Einerson 2-1 after 4, with Hammer playing the fifth. Fujisawa is leading Mila Platt 3-1 after 3, with Platt having Hammer in the fourth. And in the final game, we have Tabata from Japan leading Gim from Korea 4-2 after 3. Gim holding Hammer in the fourth. We're pretty much up to date. Next sets of games after this is at, what time would this be? I'm thinking probably noon Mountain Time. I'm on the East Coast here, so for me that's around 3 o'clock. Or no, around noon maybe. Not too sure. Have to figure that one out. But anyway, covering all the games today, all the semifinal games and both finals are on. I know all the finals are at 3:30 Mountain Time, so 6:30 here in the East and 5:30 in Central Canada. Wherever you are, you can find them and check it out, and a good chance to watch some curling here on a Monday afternoon. So we're about to get going, and Richard having still throwing first, and down 3-1. She's gonna have to get a little bit aggressive here. She did the last end too. She just got a little unlucky with how it ended up working out, and Cailey made a great shot, and Caitlin's team made a great shot. So here comes up the center guard. This one looks good. Perfect. Great shot. Seems so easy sometimes, and sometimes it's just not so easy to put that rock on the center line in perfect length. For the Laws team now, McCush will be asked to come around that rock. Go a little bit. Let's see, I'm putting that rock back. Because that rock was in contact with the center line, we're not allowed, the opposition is not allowed to move it off of the line. Otherwise, it's removal of her stone and yours goes back. So, big break for Team Richards. Or a little break anyways, early in the end. That's not a rule that was in place for very long now. I think it might have been just last year. No more than 2 years for sure. I think just last year. So Richard will be asking her lead to throw the same shot she just threw, just lighter. Try to set up 2 rocks that are pretty much in line and separated far enough that when Laws is able to play peels, but it's not an easy task to peel both. and remove the shooters. That's really good. That's 2 great shots for the lead. Put a little star beside her for this end for sure. If this end error turns out to be a steal or a good opportunity for the Richards team, then she can be happy knowing that she kind of had a pretty big part in setting it up. So Laws will try to come around that again. I'm sure she won't have too much trouble this time getting by. Usually players tend to make sure that doesn't happen 2 times in a row. This looks pretty good. The weight's there. She's going to be in a good spot. So Richards has to go to the intern to come around all of those rocks. But she's in a good position here. She has a good opportunity to get something in and buried. And I'm sure you'll see Kaitlyn Laws go out and start peeling off some guards. This one looks pretty good as well. Prefer not to be behind the tee line, but if you have to, you do. That's a very good shot. And here comes the peels. So Speedman, try to make a double peel here if you can. Rocks are set up decently for that. Let it curl a little bit. I'm just going to get the high one, but that's fine too. Richards trying to have a lot of room to work with. You only have I don't know what that would be, probably 6 or 7 or maybe 8 feet to kind of work with. And you've got to try to be in the top 3 feet of that or 4 feet of that. So it's not a lot of room to maneuver, but say there's a good opportunity for Richards right now. Things are set up quite nicely. One looks pretty good. Yeah, another good shot. Still a double opportunity, but there's always going to be a double opportunity. It's just you just kind of have to hope that she doesn't make one. And if she does, you're still in a pretty good position with the shot rock almost on the button. You're just behind the button. It's closer. And she'll make it. That's a very nice shot. Very nice throw and nicely managed rock. So Richards now pretty much has to ignore the red one and just got a rock in there that's in pretty good position if she can continue to make good shots throughout this end. And she might find herself in a position where she can steal one or the very worst, force Kaitlyn to take one and try to go hard to score a couple the next end. This is fairly close, maybe just a little bit up for weight. Sweepers don't want to go on it if they can help it. Over curl here. Still pretty good shot, I think. It's interesting here. Kaitlyn is just going to peel the yellow, but she is having a look to see if she can perhaps run the yellow back on her own red and have the red take out the yellow at the back of the button. It's very possible. You just got to be a little careful. You can end up easily leaving 2 yellow ones in there too. That's good peel. So 3 rocks each to come. You're interesting to see if Richard stays with this. And she will, at least for one more shot. You get a little tempted here to say, well, should we keep doing this just in case something goes astray? And, or do I hit the red and try to force Kaitlyn to take her 1? But pretty good opportunity here, and you played this shot a lot now, so should be able to make it pretty good every time. This is going to be a good one as well. Line looks good. Just need to carry it a little bit further. Nicely done. Looking at it, thinking about making a play on the back one, but I think she'll peel when she will. It's a straight peel here for Selena negative. And no problem with that. Nice when nobody has to do anything, just follow the rock down. Now looks like she's gonna play this hit. I don't know, she might live to regret that after, but I know it's risky leaving it there and throwing another guard, but you're down 3-1 and you're certainly not playing to score doing this. So the best case scenario you're hoping for is that you give up 1 and it's 4-1. Playing 6. I don't know. Not sure that I'm totally on board with this one, but there is a risk not doing it for sure. But the team seems sold on it. I'm not seeing anybody looking like they're disagreeing, so that's good. If you're all about the same thing, that's always a good thing. Go a little bit hard on this. Make sure you don't hit your own. Which is going to be okay, I think. That's a good shot. I think she was really hoping to roll, 4 feet to the left, just so she didn't leave as easy of a double. Or probably wouldn't have left any double, to be honest, going the other way. And this is not a real hard double for Kaitlyn Laws. Interesting discussion, I think, after the game on that end. I just not. It's convinced that was the best way to go, but. Can you give me a drink? I'll pop it there, but I don't think there's any. So Kaitlyn Laws attempting to make a double here with her first rock in the 5th end. Straight back double. She's a great hitter, so I expect this to be very close. A jam. You have the same dilemma if you're Team Richards. This time I actually agree with the hit. I think it's I don't see a great opportunity to not do that. He could come around the red one and sit top 4 foot, I guess, and that would be a great shot as well. Well, you hit this and stay, at least make Kaitlyn Laws stay on her last shot. You never know. That doesn't happen every time either, so you get a chance maybe. Crucial to stay here, though. Definitely don't want Kaitlyn to be able to blank this end. Ideally, if you could roll over in front of your own, it'd be nice. Not quite. Still a good shot. So Kaitlyn Laws with an open hit. Didn't stay for one. On the out turn. Probably going to stay fairly straight as well by the look of the ice that she has, and definitely not quite as much curl to the outside as there is coming to the inside. Coming from the outside, I guess. This way, just a nice control kind of weight. Pretty hard, but it looks fine. And a good shot by Kaitlyn Laws. No, well done, I guess, on both sides. It's certainly Kaitlyn's okay with taking a 4-1 lead after 5 ends of play, but same thing for Team Richards. She at some point decided she was going to force the one and did. So 4-1 lead for Kaitlyn Laws after 5 ends here at the quarterfinals in the Saville Shootout. We'll be back after these messages.
What do you got? You got 1, you got 2, yeah!
Just one more throw, please.
You make moments like these possible.
We're back once again to this quarterfinal game between Kaitlyn Laws and Gracelyn Richards. After 5 ends of play, Kaitlyn Laws leads 4-1, but Richards has hammer here in the 6th end. Big end for her. She really needs to score 2 points here. Needs to go hard to score 2 points and then hopefully force Kaitlyn to one in the whatever that be, 7th end. and have Hammer coming home down a couple, but that's probably about the best case scenario. I mean, that's short of her scoring more than 2, but more than 2 is going to be difficult for sure. Anyway, here we go. So Laws throws the first one in the house, and Richards the last for the corner guard. Shirley has really thrown good shots these last couple ends here. She's rocks exactly where she wants them. But you have to have, especially when you're down, you just need to be able to get rocks exactly where they need to be. Well, this just be a tight to the house shot for Kaitlyn Laws. She won't be too disappointed if it goes in, but somewhere around a foot short of the rings would be perfect. This next call will be interesting. Well, right in. I'd like to see her probably throw another corner guard. I don't know if I do it on the same side or the other side, but I think I'd like to see one more corner guard go up a couple times before I went in. That's just personal choice. So out turn come around for lead Amy Wheatcroft. I'm going to have to go hard now. Might have jinxed her a little bit. And she's going to end up with a sort of cornered, double corners, but they're pretty close together. Anyway, not the end of the world. I'm trying to decide what she wants to play here. Let's throw a high guard. Well, that's what you wanted. I think she'll see her. I'm guessing you're going to see her ignore this. Go around that corner again, probably. Could play a peel. You could play like a double peel kind of shot that you got a guard there and maybe roll the corner to the other side. Wouldn't be the end of the world either. I think that wouldn't be a bad opportunity, but plus the Laws rinks, that their shot rock is not real deep. I think this is a pretty good choice. Second stone, Sophia Wire Chuck. This one's got a curl. It's a little slow going to the outside. Not slow speed-wise, just a little sluggish, I guess, slow to curl. Nope, he didn't quite get there. That's not helpful at this point. Unfortunately, it's probably going to lead to some earlier than she'd like to play peels, but we'll see. Kaitlyn's got to peel something off here anyways. So things might change a little bit. She's gonna hit the high one, but she's gonna hit two. They're so close together. Can't possibly not hit both of them. So hit this right about where the broom is, really. Get rid of both yellows there, and your shooter probably rolls out on the other side. Not a very good shot. Good to see that shot. Good to call it. Well thrown. Jocelyn Peterman's had a very solid game, I think. It's I haven't seen her really miss much at all. Very solid effort all the way around on the Laws team for sure. They're just trying to figure out how to go in here. Sometimes it's difficult. You kind of can picture it in your mind and have a little bit of a plan in your mind and know what you have to do to generate a couple of points. And just sometimes it's still hard to make yourself actually do it. That's because you're just looking around at rocks that you're not liking sometimes what you see, and you just have to ignore all the clutter, if you will, and just keep plugging along. So it's out there and come around. I don't know if she's going to get around. It looks like this is going to be on the front or on the one in the house. Okay. Richardstein's been close all day as well. They just have missed by little bits here and there, and it's kind of cost them. Negative being asked to remove that stone, and even if it stays right there is probably a good spot. Goodbye by a whole lot either. Problem for Richards now is with the last shot knocking the red one up a little bit, bumping that red one up a little bit, your scoring zone has just gotten that much smaller. More rocks to come. This is probably not a terrible call either. Just try to move that second red rock. The first one's not really a problem, but that one that's almost on the 4 foot now is just causing the scoring zone to be just a little bit too small when you haven't got a lot of ways in there. But you got to make this one. Tell you what, that doesn't have a whole lot of weight on it either. I didn't see exactly the call, but I have to believe that was just way underthrown. That was probably only maybe hack weight, and I don't think that she would have been looking for just that. I know you always want to stay around. You don't want to roll out when you're behind, but still, you needed to move a couple of rocks there, at least a little bit. I think just light for the third. And a Yarmouth. Yarmouth, I hope that's the right way to say it. Law is not going to fool around at all. She's going to hit the yellow one that's out here, just biting the 12 foot really. Not too surprised by that, to be honest. I don't know if you have the luxury of playing the hit now or not. There's only the You're in the 6th end. I guess her thoughts are that she has to score here. If nothing else, she has to score, and that's true enough. I would agree with that. If you score 1, you're down 2 playing 7 without. So you'd have to steal 7, steal 8, and steal an extra end would be the way to go. That's a lot of steals in a row, but you are still playing and you're still in the game. If you go after this here and it doesn't pan out, you could be game over by the time this ends over. So. Just where I am looks a little bit tight. Well, I guess it helps a little bit. I'm not exactly sure who number 2 is, but I'm also not sure that that's really going to matter. Let's see what Kaitlyn decides to do. Well, she's not going to play in the red on the yellow. That's interesting, yeah. I don't think she'll play that, actually. It's interesting because Kaitlyn Laws has Richards in some trouble here. I think, fairly significant trouble. And she might let her out or help her get out of trouble by playing this shot, to be honest. But at the same time, do you really want to play another draw and have another rock and play? I don't think you want to do that either. But there's only 2 to come. Then Kaitlyn doesn't miss very many shots. So I might be a little tempted to come around the yellow. Too many scenarios to really draw out as to what could happen in this shot, but my first thought is that if she plays this and doesn't remove everything there, or does remove everything there, moves the red and the yellow, and opens up her yellow or red in the back, then Richards could play a little hit and flop off it and be buried, where right now she's going to have a heck of a time getting one in anywhere for her shot. She's got the intern come around, I think, but they haven't been out that far. Anyway. See what happens. Solid takeout weight by Kaitlyn. She's got to curl a little bit. Well, I think it worked out pretty good. And I think that there's no question Richards has to draw now. Just a matter if you're going to go out turn around that high guard or go in turn around the whole bunch on this side of the sheet. If you knew the intern, I think if you knew the intern and the weight was going to be the same out there and everything, I think I kind of like the intern. But if you're not sure, then you've got to go with the one you know. And we know that they played the out turn come around a lot. Both teams have, so they should be able to figure that one out really easily. You got to throw it in, hope she doesn't make the run back. That's all you can do. So Gracelyn Richards throwing the out turn come around. Still have a decent opportunity here. You are going to need a little bit of a break on the next shot, even if you make this one really good. But still, Not out of it. Not out of the option of 2 here yet. This looks really good. Got to bury this. Oh, well done. In a perfect world, it would have been curling a little tiny bit more, and you could have left it up maybe a foot shorter and maybe another quarter of a rock buried, but that's a lot to ask for. I think that was a good shot overall. Kaitlyn's got the same shot she had back a couple of ends ago here, but it's interesting. She's not really doesn't seem to be spending a lot of time thinking about playing the run on the red. I would have thought that would have been probably the first thought, and then figure it out from there whether or not that's really what you want to do. Because if you don't make it, if you do that and you don't make it, you give her a really easy, probably an easy 2, but I don't see her missing it by, to be honest. But okay, so I guess they were discussing that all along. We just couldn't really tell that because they weren't like drawing pictures for us out there. Anyway, the other option really was, in my opinion, would have been to play the same shot Gracelyn just played and just draw it in the out turn and set it in front of that yellow one somewhere. Whether you got shot or not terribly important. Just don't be heavy and spin off it. And then it would have been a really, really tough 2. So that's the difference here. You either make this and make her make a good shot for 1. And if you don't make it, though, you do run the risk of her having a fairly easy draw for 2. That's great. This looks pretty good. Yeah, perfect shot. Perfect shot. I don't know if Laws has missed a shot today. If she has, I don't know really when it was. It's been very, very sharp. And now the Richards team is really in trouble. For sure, to be honest, how they can score. I can see them giving up 1, but I don't think that they can score. I just don't think you can play that. I don't think you can hit that hard enough to tap it back. Well, you got to tap it back, I don't know, a couple of feet for sure, maybe 3 feet. Would be, if you get to there where her broom is, you'd be full 4 foot, and the red one has to at least go a little bit over the 4 foot. So you got to move it back about probably 3 feet. I don't think you can do that. So as hard as it is, I think you basically just have to draw the edge of the 4 foot here and give up another point. I just don't think it'll work. And she's taking enough ice that I don't think she thinks it'll work either. Too bad for Richards. It was a good looking in. It kind of had a lot of potential. Important to make this though. 5-1 with a couple of ends to go. You're in the game. You got to go hard to get a 3 in the 7th. Just can't afford to just lose focus on this and all of a sudden drop 3 or the handshakes and the game's over. So it's on its way. She just threw the shot really nice on her first one, so I would expect her to make it, but otherwise she's going to be as close as she could be to making it, but just too much weight. I think she's going to get away with just one, but I'm not sure yet. See what they say. Well, it's one for sure for Laws. Looks like they're going to measure for the second point. See, that shot was going to be really, really tough. She threw that, to make that shot, she pretty much had to throw pretty close to the weight she had and would have had to go by the guard by just nothing, by the width of a sheet of paper, basically, what she would have had to do. While they're measuring, I will tell you that Kitazawa now is up 3-1 over Anderson after 6 ends. Lila Pleck came back and scored 3 against Fujisawa in the 4th and is up 4-3. And Tabata, I don't know how to say that last name, from Japan, is also up 5-4 over Gim after 5 ends. It's interesting. Some of them there's quite a difference in how many ends some of them have played, but regardless, that's your update on the quarterfinals on the women's side. So now we'll see what they ended up with here. Guess we don't know yet. It's always tough to watch when you're the team that is down, especially because you're measuring for a second point against you and you're already down no better than 5-1. And you're just kind of like, it's just kind of a little bit painful to kind of watch and be excited about the outcome of this one. But like I say, 5-1, you're in the game, and 6-1, I'm not so sure you really are. This is obviously extremely close. And I still don't know which one it is. It's just so by the way, we'll take a break here while we wait for the teams to get ready to start the 7th end, and we'll be back in a minute.
What do you got? You got 1, you got 2, you got...
Just one more throw, please.
You make moments like these possible.
So you can see by the scoreboard there that Laws did, in fact, only get 1 in the last end. So Richards has opted to continue playing, which is the right thing to do with a score of 5-1, and just need to go very hard here. She's going to need a little bit of luck, and she's going to need a little bit of break, or a break or two rather, from the Laws team, because they have been very, very sharp, and definitely, and also she's going to need a couple corner guards here. So hopefully she can get a couple of those up and we can have an exciting end in front of us. Kaitlyn, I'm sure, will be playing, basically peeling everything that she can peel out. And so far, they've been very good at that as well. So here we go. First rock for the Laws team is just short of the house by a foot or so. And this one, unfortunately, is going to be just short of the hog line by that same foot or so. She's had a great last few ends, the lead for the Richards team, but not so much there. That's a big miss for her. You don't get a lot of them out there that they can't do something with, so when you get a chance to get one out, a free one, if you will, you really need to make it. Well, Kaitlyn Law is now peeling out the shot that they just threw. She really didn't want it there in the first place. So clean house. Richard will ask lead Amy Wheatcroft to throw that corner guard back up. Not back up, I guess up for the first time in this case, but get it out there anyways, and then you'll get one more shot before they can start to eliminate, so you'll get a chance to throw one more. And then Laws will continue to peel from there on out. You're just looking for a nose hit or some kind of maybe just a rubber guard or something like that gives you an opportunity to use a guard. And like I say, you're looking for 3 here, but 2 at least is 2. You have a chance. You don't seal 2 a lot coming home, but in today's game with today's rules, you certainly are going to have an opportunity to at least have a couple of rocks in the house and possibly counting. So it's a definite option. Or a definite possibility, I guess I should say. I don't really think that's where they wanted that one either, but I'd like to see Richards ignore this and throw up another guard somewhere. It's really, in my mind, it's really just too early to go in because Kaitlyn can now peel. So if you go in here, she peels off the guard. What are you going to do? I guess you can keep throwing it back up there and she'll peel it off, and eventually you might get your 2, but a lot of stuff's going to have to go well for you to do that. I would rather have a second rock up there and have a chance to maybe generate a 3. I don't see you generating 3. Really almost 100% not generating a 3 by going in now. Didn't work out very well either. Just really set up a double. Pretty easy double for the Laws team. Just a few too many misses for the Richards team today. They've made a lot of good shots, but they just haven't been as sharp as they need to be at this stage of the game. Alison Peterman has to play the double here. Well, it really seemed like a tough double to make on that turn, but I guess the other way you were going to have to hit it almost on the nose. So. So the out turn come around. It's a call from Gracelyn Richards. Sweet, just didn't quite get the curl she was looking for, but kind of okay, really. It's you're still going to at least have your corner guard there when you're done, unless she decides to peel it. No, I guess if she had done it a little bit more, probably another 2/3 of rock behind the guard, Cailyn would probably have just peeled the guard. He's got to curl a little bit. She's close to missing this. Well, tell you what, if you're Richards' team, you couldn't have drawn up that shot any better for you. Really unfortunate for Selena. It was just kind of everything that could go wrong on that shot went wrong. So. I think she's going around it again. Try to get a little bit more buried than it was a minute ago. Well, it certainly has been a struggle for the Richards third. Emma's just had not a great day, and that was another situation where not a real hard shot. The only good thing about that is it actually did move the one guard over, so it does guard the rock in the house better than it was a minute ago. You will have a chance to sit 2 here in a minute. Probably have to try to only get 2. Making the assumption here she makes a double peel, or maybe she doesn't make the double peel. Either way, you do have a chance to sit 2. Because I don't think she's playing a shot that would ever get rid of the one in the house. So just got to go down and have a chat, though. Make sure they're on the same page. Probably trying to figure out a way to get rid of both these rocks and maybe your shooter as well, and don't know if it's possible. Sometimes you can, if those rocks are just the right distance apart, sometimes you can kind of hit them both and roll right in and follow it through racily right into the rings. That's not going to happen. She's going to hit half of this one, so. Whoa. Wow, that is amazing. Well, I tell you, Selena had pretty bad luck on 2 shots in a row. That was pretty unfortunate. That's why sometimes discussing strategy is a very difficult thing, because I would not have agreed with how this end was going for the way that Richards' team was playing. I just thought you had to do something a little bit more aggressive to generate a 3, and now all of a sudden you're sitting 2 and drawing to sit 3. Could be really good, this shot. I was going to be much happier with that rock. That's a great shot. You could have easily thrown that a little bit too hard and set up an easy double for Kaitlyn Laws. And all of a sudden, we have a game here. It's a lot of potential here to score multiple points for Team Richards. Kaitlyn's played some really good run backs here, so I would suspect if she plays the run back, she'll be very close. It's a long run back, though. It doesn't look it necessarily right there, but it's pretty long when you look at the high screen. How far it is? It's quite a ways. I don't know for sure what she settled on here. I don't know if she's playing to just go past the red and hit the yellow, maybe make the double there, or make the double all the way across the house. One of those doubles. I'm pretty sure she must be doing that because it's too much ice for I think it's too much ice for sure for the run back. Yeah, this is no easy shot. A tough shot just to make contact with one of the yellow ones. This has got a curl. I don't think she's going to hit anything. Wow. I'll tell you what, you could have won a pretty big bet on this end going this way because it was not in the cards at all. The whole game, it just certainly hasn't been anything like this. Give some thought here. You'd like to be able to, four's a little bit hard to expect to get, but at the same time, you do have a situation that you might possibly get four if you can put this rock in the right place. I think she's going to throw the in-turn on a maybe T-line or a little above the T-line on the right-hand side of the sheet as we look at it. You have to assume that, that's a good angle there. You have to assume that Laws will play the one that you're going to throw. Almost guaranteed. I don't think she'll go after those two yellows again. That's a really tough shot. The right shot for her that time, I think. But still, it's a tough shot. So I think she'd like to have something a little bit easier to get rid of at least one, well, at least two, I guess, rocks. She can get rid of one anytime, so. Don't want this one to be real high. You'd rather not have her have a chance of making some kind of an 8-foot rule behind cover on the other side and giving you a more difficult shot, or at least a not easy shot. Just make sure you get it in the ring. Somewhere close to the tee line is probably acceptable. You gotta go. You gotta get this one there. I don't know if that's going to happen. No. It's it doesn't seem like a big miss, but it really is, I think, a big miss for this level to not hit the house. You need to hit the house there and sit 4. And when you do that, Kaitlyn Laws, I think, has to play the one that you just threw, which is going to leave you, has to leave you with basically an open hit for multiple points. You still might have that same thing, but she'll see. So a couple of skips misses in a row here. We'll see if they can do it up a little better in the next two shots. I suppose the other option here is for, if she wanted to, Kaitlyn could hit the back yellow one, the one that's wide open, and be prepared to give up 3, have a 1-point lead coming home with the hammer. This might not be a bad option, since this does look really tough, and if you don't make it, you're giving up 3 anyway, so you got to be a lot more risk in this shot than the other shot. But she may make the double too and change the whole thing up. Well, she's not making a double. She may get it, may not get a piece again. Wow, that is crazy. I would never have pictured her missing that shot twice in a row. I don't even know if she threw it bad. It just seemed like it didn't even curl an inch. Both rocks went by the whole thing just by a smidge. So a draw for 4. Just sounds crazy for Team Richards here in the 7th end. Not so much that they get 4, just the way it all happened. Just seems so strange. You need to really focus on this one, though. You don't want to give this one away. You got to make sure that you get this extra point. So this one's on its way. Sweepers are not doing anything much with it, so I would expect it's close. Just make sure you keep it clean. The way this end is gone, I wouldn't bet on anything not happening. So, and she's going to make this with no problem at all. And all of a sudden, with a 4 in the 7th end, Team Richards ties this one up, and we will have an exciting finish as we go to the 8th end, tied up at 5. So we'll be back with you just in a minute for what should be a very exciting 8th end.
Handcrafted in Canada, Hardlines Ice Pad has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best broom in the game. Hardline. Join the revolution.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.
So we're back. Not sure that I thought we'd make it to this end really just a couple ends ago, but we're here and we're tied up at 5 in the 8th end of the first quarter final game. The women's draw here at the Saville Shootout. Team Richards just scoring 4. Just an open draw for 4 actually to tie this one up. Yeah, it just kind of came out of nowhere, and you never know in curling for sure. Kaitlyn probably threw two shots quite well, but just didn't get 1 inch of curl and missed. So it'd be a little bit of a debate about whether or not hitting the back one, as we talked about during that end, would have been a good option. Worst case scenario, you give up 3 then. And I'm not so sure that wouldn't have been better, especially after seeing the first rock. The first rock really just didn't do anything. And yeah. But anyway, hindsight's always a beautiful thing, and much easier to play the game that way than it is when it's really happening and you're out on the ice. So Team Richards gets the first guard up nicely. Team Laws trying to come around it, throw it through the house. Kristen, which I understand, I think I've been calling Kristen McCush the whole game, and she's no longer Kristen McCush. She's now apparently Kristen Gordon, so I apologize for that. I looked that up because I thought I saw it on the back of the sweater, but the name didn't quite work. But anyways, so here we are, lead second Stone. Amy Wheatcroft's second shot here in the 8th end. She'll be asked to throw another guard. And this one's pretty good. Nice spread between them. Both of them lined up on the center line. Can't do it any better. Other than that one shot, Amy Wheatcroft's had a real good, at least a good second half. I confess, I'm not sure if I can remember the first half. I'm getting older. But yeah, threw some really nice shots in the second half. Just had one bad one in the last end, but heck, that worked out pretty good anyway. Come around that. This one trying to come around there. Throwing the first one through, kind of compensated a little bit too much, ends up short. So all of a sudden, Team Richards has if they can make this shot, a pretty good end developing. But the intern come around for Sophia Ryerchuk. All these people with all these letters in their name. My first name has 3 letters. My last name has 3 letters. It's a lot easier. So here's the intern come around. Just need to curl a whole bunch. Starting to go. Not going to get over there very far, but yeah. Didn't do a lot for you, but regardless. Not completely sure what Cailey's looking at here. I think you got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think you're allowed to peel at this point. So I think she needs to be hitting the high one. Dawson Peterman's first here in the 8th. Good shot. So Richard's playing the intern come around. One lowly guard makes it a little bit more of a challenge to score. One guard stuff, but can't really do much more now. You pretty much got to go. You can't run the risk of setting up a double peel on corners, or on center guards rather. Those are going hard on this. It's going to be short. Still, they just haven't been real sharp, really. Even the last end, I mean, they scored a lot of points, but just weren't real sharp. But anyway, still got a chance to get through it. get through it and get sharper in the next game. That's all you can do. So we got a double peel coming for, hopefully a double peel for Jocelyn Peterman. That's what they hope anyways. Looked like she might have been a touch out to me. Yeah, just set it out a little tiny bit, I think, and left the one guard. So a little bit of a break for Richards. I think she's coming right around it. One final in the quarterfinals, and it's Hitazawa from Japan defeated Harry Einerson 5-1. So third Emma Yermuch now throwing to play a come around. Made a great shot the last hour. She's playing the guard. Okay, I couldn't tell. I knew she pointed out there once, and then, but I thought they decided to go in. I think this might be a better shot if she can make it good. It looks pretty good. Made a heck of a shot the last end, really, to set up to help set up the four. On her second shot was a real pistol, just a real nice come around buried. And that led to Kaitlyn trying that double twice. Not being able to see a whole lot of it, but. So anyway, we got a few yellow rocks in play, and Richard's just hoping that at least one of them stays there till she comes up to throw. Lena Negevin would like that not to be the case. I think it's a couple of shots. I just seeing a little bit of an outward motion on the release that I'm surprised is there. It's but it is, and she just only gets the one. Not even quite, probably not the one that they were actually thinking they were going to hit. So I think you got to go now. You've got a situation. You've got a guard, and you've got one at the top of the house that can serve as a guard. Down to your third's last stone. No, she's going to call the guard. It's fine, I guess. I just think that I feel like, and I might be wrong, that it's a good opportunity right now to kind of go around that and get fully buried in the 4-foot. Got to go here. They got to get this at least past this top one. It's too bad. It's not a real good shot for sure. I would have rather seen her slide in the house by mistake than drop it that far out. So Selena Negevin now will play which I think is a double attempt. Can't tell exactly where those rocks are, but yeah, the trouble with that last guard just didn't, accomplish a whole lot. So the girls are going to call another timeout. Have the coach come out and have a little chat about it. While we do that, we'll tell you that the other couple of games that are still being played on the ladies' side, Mila Plett is leading Fujisawa 5-4 in the 7th, with Fujisawa having hammered. And the other game is tied up at 5 after 6, with Tabata from Japan having hammer over Gim from Korea. So some real close games. We only had the one game on the ladies' side that got a little out of hand, I guess. The next draw for this is at noon local time. And then the finals are at 3:30 local time. So wherever you are in the country, you'll have to do the math on what that is. For me, that's about a 3-hour time change, but I'll be back for the final game, one of the final games, and I'll be away for the semi. Just kind of watching it on the tube here. It's a tough call now. The rocks just didn't end up exactly where they was. If you came around it on the first shot, Kaitlyn probably peels the long guard, and then you already have the rock in there with the other one still in front of it a little bit. So I just like that scenario better than this scenario, but I think you could decide to throw a guard up here. Let her peel that off, and hopefully she doesn't get rid of everything. And then come around the one at the top of the house. The alternative is to go into the top of the house now. Like not into the top, into the 4 foot behind the one in the top of the house. And then Kaitlyn probably tries to make the double. And as long as she doesn't make it, you can guard up the one that you just threw. If she makes it, then you really don't have a whole lot. So, okay. So that's nice. At least we're finding out where they want it. Right there. And the reason for putting it over that far is to try to prevent the double peel, so that if she puts it on the center line, the double peel will go away. If she puts it on the center line, for example, you feel like, okay, well, that's better. And that is better if it doesn't go anywhere. But the problem with the center line is that then Kaitlyn tries to slash double, if you will, and could get rid of both the long guard or the center guard and the one in the house. And her shooter then would roll well away, and all you would have would be that long corner guard to come around. So that's why it might seem a little odd to some people why you should put this one way over there. It seems almost out of play, if you will, but it's not going to be an easy double for Kaitlyn if she gets it over there in the right place. Probably a pretty hard double, actually. And she will at least have one rock left to work with on her last one, which it would allow her to get a piece of the 4 foot at the very worst. Just 4 rocks to come, I guess, and we'll have a winner. So Gracelyn Richards, an out-turn guard. It's going to have to curl some, but I think it will. She's going to be exactly where she wanted it. Needs to get a little more curl yet. Pretty good. They would have liked to have taken that a few more feet. I guess they could have went maybe a little bit harder. Probably get a little tired, though. It's the last end. And if they could have got it over there a little bit more and a little bit deeper, it might have been better. But Kaitlyn's going to ignore it anyways, because she knows that if she peels it off, that Richards is going to come around that one at the top of the 12. So she's going to try to beat her to the punch. Not a bad decision at this point. If you can get it in there anywhere decent, even if Richards is able to make it go away, or if you go a little deep and she freezes on you have the whole 4 foot basically to draw to. So I think this is not a bad call at all. And if you can make it really good, you might just win the game right here. It might not be another shot. She goes around there and gets it 3/4 buried and bites the 4 foot. I think that's going to be a pretty tough situation for Richards to maneuver around. Salah's on the way. It's taking its time, maybe a little bit heavy. Just doesn't appear to be real heavy. I'm not so sure they didn't sweep it to just exactly where you didn't want to sweep it to be honest. I think the thought was that they might as well take it back and get it back, even get back 2 more feet. Then if she comes down to you, then you can come down and score. Here, if she comes down and throws it really well, you might have a hard time scoring if you're Kaitlyn Laws. She might think that she should remove this and flop in. I think you've got a chance to win the game here if you don't remove it. So I think that you should take advantage of that and play the freeze. Just make sure you're playing one or the other. What you don't want to do here is tap this back about 2 feet and have her just have a pick, basically a big weight pick, because despite the fact she missed a couple of takeouts the last hand, she doesn't miss very many of those. Girl's taking quite a while to decide here. Big shot, not too surprised. We just saw picked up a couple in the 7th, takes a 6-5 lead against Platt into the 8th end. I'm gonna play a hit here. I just don't know that I get it. I just think I think it's tough to get that inside roll for starters. And if you do, you just leave her the whole 4-foot draw too. Just leave her the same shot she just threw, basically. You got to play to win on this shot, and I don't think this is the one to win with. But stranger things have happened, as we saw just 15 minutes ago. But they seem to all be in agreement. Sometimes that's half the battle. You go down to throw that last one, and you know that everybody's on board with it, or at least you think they're on board with it. That's always makes that shot just that little bit easier and a little bit easier to commit and feel good about it. This looks pretty good, though. Needs to curl just a little bit more. Well, I'll tell you what, it was a great shot. Well thrown, well managed, well swept. All parts of it were a really, really good effort. And made it as good as you can make it, I think. She still held on to a little piece of the button. Kaitlyn's going to play what she says she's going to play, just a little, would be like a back 8-foot shot. I don't know, I just get a little surprised with some of these calls. I would have thought she might just throw the straight draw to the button, but I might be getting fooled a little bit by, we're right behind the sheet here, so it can't be too fooled, but sometimes there's a little more room there than it looks, and this might be not a real difficult shot. So final rock of the game coming no matter what happens. Kaitlyn Laws playing a little bit of a tap out, a little bit of a tap, I guess, tap and roll, whatever you'd like to call it. Just kind of a back 8-foot, back 12-foot shot for the win. Richards having done everything that she could do on her last one. Let's wait. Definitely doesn't look heavy by any stretch. I think she's going to be good. That's a great shot. Very nice shot by Kaitlyn Laws. She will pick up one and the win over Gracelyn Richards, 6-5. Super exciting last day and turned into a very exciting game as well. Just a reminder as we leave here that you can watch all these games on the Curling Zone YouTube channel. Every single game is on there, including the semifinals, which will be coming up here in just about an hour and a half. About an hour and a half, I guess, somewhere around there. So thanks very much for joining us again in the quarterfinal game. Laws defeats Richards 6-5, and we'll see you again later on today.
Handcrafted in Canada, Hardline's Ice Pad has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best brew in the game. Hardline.